going to gain from that knowledge? You know, what am I going to get out of knowing that my boyfriend has had sex with 6 people? It doesn't help me in any way. It doesn't affect our sex life in any way. You know, so I'd just rather not know. Unless, obviously, there is something in that sexual past that is become an issue. Like if someone were to contract a disease or have particular triggers around some sort of past abuse or something like that, I mean, then it's something that's relevant. But I say don't ask, don't tell.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's actually smart. I mean, I guess besides a possibly qualifying conversation about making sure everybody's bill of health is clear,
right?
There really is, in your opinion, no other reason to discuss this.
Yeah. I mean, if you're clean, you know, then that doesn't really matter. Because you can feel bad in different ways. You know, it's like if the number's low, and then it feels like, oh God, is it so special to him? Is there extra pressure? Or if it's super high, it's like, oh God, am I living up to expectations? Am I as good as all these other people? I feel like it's not, you're not really going to get any benefit out of it.
Yeah, no. And
they're probably not going to tell you the truth anyways. So
well, there's that.
It's weird that guys would overshoot, though. You'd think they would undershoot because they would feel that's safer.
Well, the theory in the story is that a greater that it's peer perception and acceptance, that a greater number for men improves male peer acceptance, but it negates female peer acceptance, that you're looked on as a slut.
Right.
And they're saying that the only long-term solution is the ongoing decline in the double standard about sexual morality. And my question to you is, do you think that there has been a decline in the double standard?
Yes. I mean, certainly not enough. We're not there. But I do think that things have been getting better. I mean, there's still enough crap that I can see on Facebook or whatever and get worked up about. But
you mean sexism-wise?
Yep. But overall, I definitely think that it's a lot better. And then there's people who, I mean, try to imagine having the slut walks 20 years ago, you know, or things that people are doing now to try to fight that standard. You couldn't even try to fight the standard, you know, in the past. So that's got to be a good sign.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. When you say slut walks, do you mean like the walk of shame?
No, there's they're called slut walks or slut march. I don't know if they're walking or marching. They started in Canada, and they actually have them all over like major cities where it is a walk for women to raise awareness, in particular about slut shaming. And I believe it came all from a woman was raped in Canada, and the police made some comments about how if she had not been dressed the way she was, she would not have been raped.
Okay.
So a lot of women will wear, you know, like pasty, very little clothing and stuff and walk in march, kind of a protest the idea that, you know, what someone wears gives you the right to slut shame or assault them.
Oh, okay. That's cool. Mm-hmm. That's very cool. By the way, there's an absolutely hysterical article about how to find the male G-spot. And just put it up there because it's absolutely preposterous and it doesn't tell you anything that you don't know, but it's just the writing is so bad sometimes. And they are like, oh, now this is a big revelation. Are you ready? It's between here and there. And if you touch that, it's going to be, I mean, you can just hear the bad 70s porn music as this person is trying to commit this thing to paper, and it's ridiculous. So just check that out. So this is funny. There was a survey actually, and it's in the UK talking about how long women think people should wait before having sex versus how long men think that you should wait before having sex. And this is not an age thing, like not the first time they're talking about in a dating scenario. Okay. So, can I just please laugh? So percentage wise, and there's nothing over 15% in here, which makes me laugh.
Oh, funny. It was real spread out.
It was very, very, very spread out. 3% think the first date is just swell. Beating the next up is wait until marriage, 4%. 4%. I'm amazed that many people think that. Wait until they fall in love, 15%.
Wow.
15%. And then third date is 14%.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised that's not, I feel that's the stereotype, right? That's kind of the joke, standard.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and the seventh date or longer, 10% believe that. So now you're looking at 39%. Third date to love is the span, 39%. So the other 60% falls somewhere in between first date and sixth. Why is that funny? And that's women. So let's see what the men say. Okay. We got some bigger numbers here. Love for men, 8%. 18% said third date. So now, and then first date, 9%. So virtually 3 times the number of men think the first date is okay versus the second. And only 8% of men think that they should wait until they're in love. So
third date is the closest between
the
women.
two, 15 and 18%. That's the magic number.
Which is funny because I met someone on OkCupid, and if you're not familiar, there's these quizzes you can take. They ask you all these kind of personal philosophical questions, and you answer, and then you rate how you would like a potential match to answer the questions as well. And that's part of how they formulate, like, you are an 83% match kind of thing. And I was dating someone at the time. Well, for our first date, like, I was looking through his, then you creep on all those questions and answers and make sure they did the one. I always check the one about how often do you brush your teeth.
What's the golden answer, Megan?
Twice a day. It would be good. Yeah. I mean, there was like a once a week option, and anyone's clicking on that one, like they're out. Oh. So, but the guy had put down that he would end up judging a woman that had sex on the first date. But then, of course, we went out, and one of the few times actually had sex on the first date.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So and then, of course, like when we ended up dating, and I remember at one point I talked to him about it, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I filled that out when I started the profile like 7 years ago or something. So I'm sure things have really changed." Or I'm like, okay, because I want to make sure that we're not entering into a relationship with you secretly judging me for being willing to have sex with you, even though you were also willing. So make sure you're not only judging me for something that was a two-way street.
Yeah. Yeah. There are so many antiquated things out there, and that's one of them. But that is funny, isn't it? The fact that it was actually out there, and I don't want to say accepted. That's not quite the right word, but I mean, guys would have sex on the first date, and they were willing participants, and then judge the female. Mm-hmm. Like, how the hell does that work?
Right. Well, and you always hear that. It's like, well, you can have sex on a first date, but that's not the woman you take home to your family, or that's not the woman you're going to marry. And it's like, well, then what are you? Are you not the man that anyone should marry too? Because I mean, it takes two here. So
yeah, it's a very strange thing. So, how long have you guys been dating? A little while now?
2 years.
Oh my gosh, 2 years.
Yeah.
Oh, so this is the same guy. For some reason, in the last few months, I
had a conversation with the other day, and when I'm like, I'm sorry. So try to sometimes decide I'm going to speak very vaguely, so I can't track down who it is exactly that I'm spilling all this about. But it's for the show, baby, I swear.
Yeah. Well, no, I kind of thought, I thought that you do a good job, because you had me kind of confused. Yeah, I thought this was a new guy. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, is Tinder still a big thing?
As far as I know, I never, like I said, I was on it for a hot second, and I was like, "Ooh, this seems too intrusive," and I got off. So I never understood. Like, I actually really liked OkCupid because the idea of only seeing a picture and just really judging off of that, like that's not enough information for me, really. But from what I hear, it's still going strong.
Okay.
So
no, my favorite was, and I don't know if it's Tinder, but it was a site that is frequented by a lot of gay men, and there's one where it'll tell you how far away people are.
Grindr.
Yep. No, my favorite was he was at a professional party and he got bored and he checked his phone and there was a guy like 25 feet from him at this party, and it's like, oh my God. And yeah, that was good stuff. I mean, have you had any good Grindr stories among friends or Tinder stories?
No. I have everyone. I don't know if I know anyone on Tinder. I think we were pre-Tinder now. Like we all did the OkCupid, all of my friends, and now we're all
paired up.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, coming up in the next couple of months, really, I mean, seriously, we're 2 months away from Pride. 2 months. That's it.
Yeah.
What can we be looking forward to?
I know we are doing like the prize wheel again, which is very exciting. I have to talk to the MAP people, but I believe the plan was to again raise money for the Minnesota AIDS Project with the prize wheel. We actually have really cool stuff that we'll be giving away this year, so that's going to be exciting. And we're going back and doing the tent. Last year we did essentially double the space, and I believe we're going to do that again. So the tent is just going to be gigantic. So, and I'm sure we're working on trying to get a few vendors to come and visit. We have some people that like to come and
Newport
stop
News
by and that sort of stuff.
They are so good about that.
Yeah.
And they'll help auctioneer and do all that good stuff. Well, Colleen is lounging on a beach somewhere for spring break. God love her.
Yep.
And we'll have her back next week. And some of our guests, a lot of our guests that we have, our regulars, are educators. And they're gone. Like everybody's on break right now.
Spring break.
So hopefully we'll get some of the doctors. We have a lot of doctors that come and talk on the show, which I think is really great.
Yeah, and I like to play doctor.
Oh, good. Good for you. Good for you. So we'll be back with a regular edition next week. Meg, thanks so much for joining me. And please post all of this great stuff that we found, and we'll be back at you soon.
Bye.